Land Rover has sold more than 800,000 Range Rover Sports worldwide since the second-generation model launched in 2013. That's why the third-generation Range Rover Sport looks very familiar at first glance. You don't mess with success. Up close and in the metal, however, the 2023 Range Rover Sport is a very different beast. Though its basic proportion and stance are very similar to the outgoing model, JLR's Chief Creative Officer Jerry McGovern's reductionist design philosophy has resulted in an exterior defined by beautifully rendered surfaces and sophisticated details, and a significantly more luxurious, modernist interior. The front end features a narrower grille framed by narrower headlights, and bumper fascias that wrap smoothly around to the body sides. As with the Range Rover, the tops of the doors roll over to meet the flush side glass without a visible seam or rubber seal, and the D-pillar is hidden under glass. At the rear are new horizontal format LED taillights linked by a black panel. The number plate has been repositioned from the tailgate to the bumper. The rear graphic is not as overtly dramatic as that of the new Range Rover. But, like the rest of the body design, the execution is superb. Look closely and you'll notice a gentle crease that effectively wraps around the rear of the car, subtly adding strength to the whole rear end. One touch of visual flamboyance is the longest roof spoiler ever fitted to a Rangy. It makes the trademark rearward rake of the Range Rover Sport roofline look even more dramatic. The optional dynamic appearance pack delivers a sportier, more dramatic treatment of the front splitter and rear faux diffuser. That smoothly finished exterior isn't just for show. The new Range Rover Sport boasts an impressive drag coefficient of just 0.29, a 15% improvement over the outgoing model. The re-architected interior has been designed to deliver a sportier, more driver-focused ambience than the ultra-luxe vibe of the big Range Rover. The steering wheel has 3 spokes and is of a slightly smaller diameter than the Range Rover wheel, and the high center console, which puts the transmission shifter and various minor controls within easy reach, unapologetically delineates the driver and passenger zones in the front cabin. The key dimensional changes over the outgoing Range Rover Sport, a 74mm increase in the wheelbase and a 67mm increase in overall length, mean rear seat passengers benefit from 20mm more legroom and 15mm more knee room, and the rear load space has 55 liters more capacity. At the center of the dash is a curved 13.1-inch haptic response touchscreen to control the Pivi Pro infotainment system that Nick Collins, JLR's Executive Director of Vehicle Programs, says makes the Range Rover Sport a powerful connected device in your daily life. Among the apps the system can run is Amazon's Alexa, and with its 12 ultrasonic sensors and 4 cameras, the system will allow the Range Rover Sport to park itself with the driver standing outside the car. Standard audio is Meridian's very good 400W 15-speaker system, but those who want the ultimate sound can opt for the 1430-watt, 29-speaker Meridian's signature sound system. You'll hear the difference rather than see it. Many of the speakers are hidden behind a new woven acoustic fabric on the door panels. Speakers hidden in the headrests are used for a noise cancellation system that counters tire noise picked up by microphones in each wheel well. It's a Range Rover, so of course the seats are leather trimmed. But in addition to the 3 leather grades, Standard, Windsor, and Semi-Aniline, the Sport's reprofiled seats can be trimmed in a leather-like Ultra Fabrics trim that JLR's Color and Materials Manager, Mel McWhorter, says is odor-free, antimicrobial, anti-allergenic, weighs 30% less than traditional leather, and produces 1/4 the CO2 in its journey from raw materials to finished product. Codenamed L461, the new Range Rover Sport has been developed almost in tandem with the new full-size L460 Range Rover, sharing its aluminium-intensive MLA Flex vehicle architecture and powertrain components. MLA Flex has been designed to accommodate mild hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and full battery electric powertrains, and JLR's powerful EVA 2.0 electronic architecture. Powertrains start with the 3.0-liter Ingenium turbocharged straight-six petrol and diesel engines with the 48V mild hybrid, MHEV, system. The petrol Ingenium is available in P360 trim with 265 kilowatts and 500 Nm of torque, and P400 trim with 294 kilowatts and 550 Nm. The diesel lineup comprises the 183 kW/600 Nm D250, the 221 kW per 650 Nm D300 and the 258 kW per 700 Nm D350 versions. The top petrol engine is a BMW-sourced 4.4-liter twin-turbo V8 that powers the P530 model. It produces 390 kilowatts and 750 Newton meters, and JLR says it will hustle the Sport from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 4.5 seconds. That makes the P530 as quick as the outgoing Sport SVR, yet the engine is claimed to be 17% more fuel efficient. The most interesting powertrain, however, is the plug-in hybrid that marries the 3.0-liter petrol Ingenium straight-six with a 105 kilowatts e-motor to deliver a total system output of 375 kilowatts and 700 Newton meters, enough to scoot the PHEV Sport to 100 kilometers per hour in 5.4 seconds on the way to a 242 kilometers per hour top speed. A 31.8 kilowatt-hours battery delivers a 125 kilometer pure electric driving range, and helps achieve a total real-world distance of 740 kilometers. The range will later be expanded with the addition of an all-electric model in 2024. JLR insiders remain tight-lipped on the details, but the electric-powered Sport will have e-motors front and rear to deliver the mandatory all-wheel drive, and sophisticated control systems that will allow infinitely variable torque splits to ensure good handling on the road and good capability of it. Outputs north of 375 kilowatts and 700 Newton meters seem logical, along with a 500 kilometers or better driving range courtesy of a battery pack that looks to have around 100 kilowatt-hours capacity. The MLA Flex architecture and revised suspension hardware gives the new Sport on-road dynamic capability far beyond that of the outgoing car, says Vehicle Programs Chief Nick Collins. The body structure is 35% stiffer, and the dynamic air suspension features two-chamber air springs to help reduce pitch and roll, and Bilstein dampers to better control body motions. Off-road capability hasn't been compromised, however. All models come with a high/low range transfer case, wheel articulation is 546 mm, and the air suspension can hoist the Sport 135 mm above its standard ride height to give it 281 mm of ground clearance. It will climb a 45-degree gradient, and wade through 900 mm of water. No other SUV has the Range Rover Sport's breadth of capability, insists Nick Collins. The optional Stormer handling pack, named after the dramatic 2004 Range Stormer concept that previewed the original Range Rover Sport, adds active stabilizer bars with electric motors that can apply 900 Newton meters of twisting force in 200 milliseconds, and a maximum of 1,400 Newton meters helps control roll during cornering, plus torque vectoring by braking, and active e-diff at the rear, and rear-wheel steering to improve agility. Rear-wheel steering will be standard on P510e and P530 models. The system turns the rear wheels up to 7.3 degrees in the opposite direction to the fronts at speeds up to 50 km per hour to make the Range Rover Sport feel even sportier in the twisty bits and reduce the turning circle. Above 50 km per hour, the wheels are steered in the same direction to improve stability on high-speed changes of direction. The new Range Rover Sport is available to order now, with prices starting from $139,160 plus on-road costs, and first deliveries are expected in the fourth quarter of this year. A first edition model will be available in D350 form throughout the first year of production, and a limited edition P530 model will be available in an exclusive online sales event later this year. Both will be based on the lavish autobiography trim level. We'll wait until we drive it, of course, but at first acquaintance the new Range Rover Sport looks like a thorough and deeply thoughtful rework of a formula that's found favor around the world. And with good reason. You don't mess with success.